It's my favorite part is like, I know when I'm hitting unmute and nobody else does. I was talking about this last night on stream, and there's always some little fun audio artifact, and this time it was you coughing.
Yeah, I was clearing my throat.
And everybody, here we go. Here we go. Everybody ready? Yes. And then like, it's always like adjustments or one last little quip or whatever, and it's right as I hit live. Hey, to whoever's watching out there, my name is Tony Vicinda, at Tony Vicinda Online. You can find me and everything my brand does at +1EXP. This is my good buddy
John DeCampos. Hello, I'm one of the co-creators on Repugnant. Stoked to be here. Let's name this thing.
Yeah, so we have a Kickstarter live right now at ttrpg.link/grossrpg. You can go right there. If you have backed, that's great. We appreciate your support. If you haven't backed, that's fine. We are 1 week in. Last week, we sat here for 90 minutes and chit-chatted while we launched the game and got to funded. And since then, we've unlocked 2 of our retch goals. I guess I'll scroll down and show you guys those real quick. This is our campaign. If you haven't seen it before, it's the world's grossest RPG. But we have... unlocked 3 stretch goals. We've got the digital character sheets, all the combinations of the character sheets that you can just print out and play. We've got the bag of chit, so everybody got some chit. Some people are getting more chit. We've also got the Yechi's Hole module unlocked also too, which will be a physical project if you got the encrusted edition, or just digital if you did the regular level or the digital level. We are working our way towards that 5K mark, that world map of the crust. Maybe we'll hit that 10K mark, maybe, but only with your help. If you're out there watching and haven't backed yet, we'd love your support. If you can't back, go ahead and just share out online, ttrpg.link/grossrpg. A lot of people have compared it to if Garbage Pail Kids grew up and went on adventures, this is what it would be like. That's not an inapt description of what it is. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this mascot. So I use this thing called Typeform that I really love. It lets you create these kind of cool visual, here, I'll let you guys see it, these cool visual surveys that you can kind of walk through, that will kind of walk people through a total process. So we asked people who this guy was, this person was. You don't know if it's a guy,
I don't know,
girl or other yet, but we popped it up. John had drawn it. It was absolutely phenomenal. We never gave it a name or a backstory, so people were able to tell us the name of this creature, and then once they had told us the name, they could go through and tell us their backstory if they wanted, and then be done. So what we're going to do right now is just read through those. I read through like 1 or 2 of them early on in the process, but then stopped because I just wanted to be able to do this live with y'all and with John. So this is our first time. We've got 33 responses to the survey. We're going to just kind of go through and read those. Some of them are just names, some of them are backstories, but all we're doing is looking at those responses. I want to summary. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, look at that pretty data.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that data. All right, so I can look at their name and their story, or I was trying to see. There we go. Okay, so I can get their name and their story side by side. So some people just gave us names. We actually may end up mixing and matching. The big flub that I had on this is I didn't have a space for people to tell me who they were, so we're gonna have to track down whoever named this thing later. In our table, we put out a new survey today called the Let's Talk Trash Table survey. That one does have a spot for you to tell us your name. If we pick any of the items you submit, and you can submit more than one if you want to, then you'll get credited at the bottom of that table's page as a contributor to that page. And it can be any size item, something that people have to climb through or crawl through, down to little tiny things that people hold in their hands. We've got a couple of those that have already come in. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. So here we go. First up, we have Putrid Paw, which I like.
It's fine.
No backstory. It's good.
Alliteration good.
Right. Borf, which I like as a onomatopoeic sound.
I'm sorry. I love that.
Yeah.
I love Borf.
This backstory. There's going to be a little language here, guys, in some of these backstories. I did read this one already. Glenn took a shit. Bridget puked on the shit. Randy pissed on top of it all. And the maintenance guy, Boris, was left to unclog it, all barefisted until something from the drain pulled him in. Borf is Boris covered in shit stew. So that's the Borf name and backstory.
Wow.
So that's one. Wet nursed Tori it. Story IT. I feel like this is a British submission, which I love. Thank you, whoever in the UK. And so we've got a barely sentient teratoma, which escaped from a laboratory and wiggled into an elite English boarding school where it learned to grunt Latin phrases, now dwelling in the sewers under Tufton Street, London, where it occasionally crawls out to offer policy advice. I feel like there's a lot of commentary happening here that I don't understand.
Yeah, same.
But it's good.
Yeah, and on the crust, what is London? Are there there's that stuff's like buried under miles
That's
of
true.
trash.
I feel like it probably has some sort of modern name that is weird. So like,
yeah,
tell us what London's dumb weird new name is. So we've got grossmosis. Grossmosis, or should we say we are Legion, which I actually really like this from a you become part of grossmosis when you play Repugnant, that it is grossmosis is representative of us all. Is this idea. So Rembrandt, he is a muckback known for having T-Rex sized arms that are unable to clear the grime and muck that piles up on their backs, giving them the appearance of living, breathing hunchback. See previous answer. A mold colony has grown on his back, giving him the appearance of a mucky hunchback. Not that he minds. I love the concept of a muckback. That's a cool...
I like everything about that. The more they delved into the physical side of what the character embodies, as opposed to like a name or like a history, which is kind of neat.
Right. I also love the idea of this huge head and then this like hunched over body.
Yeah.
Like itty bitty arms, like a Tyrannosaurus. Super good. So we've got Lester Grimes is the other one. No story, just Lester Grimes.
You know what's good? Yeah, that's more of like a traditional approach to being like the crypt keeper or something, right? Like that's what I sort of envision this character being, as sort of like a it's a mascot the same way like the crypt keeper. I can't remember the name of the guy who was like the red robe. There's one for the comic books that is the same thing, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Like kind of the narrator. Welcome. So we've got another. Fetch the Rets. Pronouns are it's. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
The epitome
that's canon. That's canon.
Yeah, I think it is definitely canon pronouns.
Yeah.
The epitome of a basement dwelling, refusing to shower, pimple-faced preteen. Upon turning 13, Fetch went subterranean, casting itself into the basement where it thrived on energy drinks, video games, and scraps of stale pizza. Oh man, so many of these are good. We may have to pull a couple of these into one mega canon.
I agree with that, because all that bit about like the actions preceding this appearance all tracks.
I even love the idea of like Fetch, like the basement that this creature dwells in being like ground zero for the beginning of the crust. Like it's been there since the beginning of time. Pugs is a creature of pure snot, which would make it kind of like a sidekick for a Slimeor. Like I could be down for that. Ralph, no story. Solid classic. Like gross name, Ralph. I mean,
I'm a
Ralph,
fan.
You know, like,
my analog in Cowabunga Pizza Time's name is Ralph, so I have a bit of a sweet spot.
Yeah. MEWKUS, mucus. Which is the most adorable way to spell mucus. And it's not a wholesome tale is what we've got for their backstory. Which that's going to go in the game somewhere. Like it's not a wholesome tale. Is phenomenal. So Larry the Listeriac, irradiated milk began to grow sentient fungal colonies. Larry the Listeriac is directly descended from the original lineage of these fungal colonies. Which is very scientific. I like it. Jackvis, they, them, theirs. From the bowels of the planet, they rose from Stygian depths below the Molemen, below the Myconoids, below the Morlocks. Jackvis rose to conquer them all. And so it's a much more power. Jackvis is a very powerful mascot. Puss Bucket, which I do feel like canonically has to be said with a southern twang. Puss Bucket. I did like this one. This is one of the first couple that we got in. I don't know how this is sorted. Or maybe I just looked at this is when I looked at it the first time. Repugnant. Pugsley to his friends. He is the witness, the crust keeper, the host to your indeterminable journey through the fetid foulness of a world in decay. This person went heavy crypt keeper vibes, which I love. I love this one. Ignatius Sebaceous. Iggy to his friends. Ignatius Sebaceous. Man, it's not often that I have to look up a word to make sure I know what it means.
Sebaceous?
Yeah. It's a sebaceous cyst is what's coming up. Ooh. Check that out, people. Let's. I'm gonna look away if you want to. I'm gonna hit this images button in a second. So stream if you don't want to see images of sebaceous cysts. This is your warning, and hopefully it's not the preview for this. These are sebaceous cysts. All right, that's enough of that. Ignis Sebaceous, Icky Iggy, he oozed up and up to the top and then popped. Whoever did this one, like, I love the meter and the wordplay on this entire submission. Sniveling Simon, they them. This is the longest backstory so far. Sniveling Simon came to be when someone's mom finally threw out that bag of stuff her son had been saving in the garbage since the 80s. Inside the strangely sticky and stretched plastic exterior was a seemingly innocent collection of childhood memorabilia. A moldy My Pet Monster turned rat condo with a corroded voice box brimming with congealed acid, a mint condition collection of Series 1 garbage pail kids in wacky packages, cards in a plastic binder sleeves. What a waste. Several mold and worse soaked issues of Mad Magazine hiding all the remains of the broken porn VHS box originally found in the woods, a thoroughly desiccated can of Ninja Turtle ooze, and over a pound of rat shit.
Oh my God.
When the bag found its way, we're only halfway there. When the bag found its way to the oozing bile piles of the crust, as all such bags must one day do, a malodorous miracle occurred. The prongs of the binder nipped a medical waste disposal unit, bursting it open like an infected cyst and causing a turgid stream of chunky maggot-infested slime to seep and weep through the rat-torn holes in the bag. The awful ichor fused the contents together and into a congealed cocoon of bodily wax. I'm not going to say that word on stream.
What?
In these 3 days, the cocoon's crust cracked and our putrid protagonist was born, smiling, naked, and covered in glistening pizza grease. We give him a hug. We dare you.
I mean, that's a slam dunk in my book, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, I feel like there may be some additions, but I do think we found the core backstory. I don't know that Sniveling Simon is the winning name.
The backstory is solid. I agree. Sniveling Simon, I'm not about, but I think the backstory is killer.
The backstory is killer. I wanted to retch a little bit while reading it. We'll have to work through some of the languages. I'm sure we cannot use some of the actual IPs that are tossed in there, but we will figure out dumb alt versions of that.
Sure.
And probably take out that one word that I was not willing to say. I feel like we've gone with like gross but not a lot of sex stuff, which I feel like if anybody wants to play the NSFW version of Repugnant, it's all there. Like, it's an easy jump, but I don't necessarily know that that's the game we have set about building.
No, I mean, there's one creature from the bad guys called the Urinator who has like these vaguely phallic like bladders hanging all over its body, and it does create urine. It uses liquid like echolocation to, but like
we're not here to yuck anyone's yum. I'm just saying, like, the core version is like SFW, but why would you ever play this at work, right? Like,
absolutely.
A great game, a great name. Snots McGavin, they them. It's a very engrossing backstory that runs from the dawn of time and tells us that Snots is silent but deadly. Very good. Glyph Tooth, they them, no backstory. Another pus bucket, slightly different spelling, they them. A former meat, if they said meat space, I'm sure they mean meat sack, who made the mistake of eating old mayo left in the sun. Gunkel Flim, he, him, one of a kind. He's one of a kind. This is a good one that I do really like. And not a lot of people went with female pronouns. This one did. It's just Smegan. And so Scabfoot, they them, the mayor of the crust, head cheese, a former human who drank the planetary fluids, effluvia. Any pronouns?
Effluvium is like a really thick like fog.
Yeah. And then
thick smoke.
Putridcia. I can't
That's
quite
pretty
say
good.
it, but it's very good. She is the fifth elemental and the physical embodiment of all the crust nastiness. And then Scumbelina, and then it says SX Umbelina. So Scumbelina is Scumbelina. That may just be C and X are next to each other. Okay, so for sure we've got like I think Ignatius Sebaceous is probably my personal favorite name.
Uh-huh.
We know that the Sniveling Simon backstory is going to be the core backstory that we build this around.
Into it. What was the name that made me laugh really hard?
I don't know. I'll say all the names out loud in a row real quick. You liked Borf right at the very beginning. Putrid Paul, Borf, Wet Norse Toriat, Grossmosis, Rembrandt, Lester Grimes, Fetch the Wretch, Pugs, Ralph, Mucus, Larry the Listeriac, Jackfist, Puss Bucket, Repugnant, Pugsley to his friend, which is a strong contender just from a central IP. Ignatius Sebaceous, Sniveling Simon, Snots McGavin, Glyphtooth, Puss Bucket again, Gunkel Flim, Smegan, Scabfoot, Head Cheese, Effluvia, Putridcia, Scumbelina. Oh wait, there's another one. There's a couple more down here. Sorry, there are a couple no responses that for some reason still got submitted. Sorry. We've got Cousin Rancid. Originally one of the humans leaving Earth, they sympathized with all the life forms left below and wouldn't shut up about it. As a result, the other humans deemed them too annoying and cast them off the ship, where they plummeted back to the ground, landing in the reeking cesspool of maggots and toxic sludge. They survived the fall and emerged from the muck, mutated and reborn from the filth, and forever a denizen of the crust. They were once human, but now they are known as Cousin Rancid.
It's cool spelling.
Yep. Pugs,
Again.
Fartholomew.
Fartholomew? Done. I'm in. That's my pick.
The Chitborn, Chitty. It. One of the crust gods of filth as a particularly bad meal once. They had so many bowel struggles and fetid rectal magic they shut out the entirety, which turned into being that dude who is just in fact a floating head without any body. He landed from the putrid skies right in the trash can with his upper teeth were smashed during the landing, so he picked up some remnants of an old ad sign and made them into repugnant word in his gums. He still has pieces of the god's crap all around his hair and face. He moves around by rolling and his rat vermin friends who do minor stuff to him. And then we have Ralphie the Wretch. Fartholomew is excellent.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I actually like overly wrought names. What if we did like Fartholomew, middle initials RE, last name Pugnant?
Into it.
Okay. And then we're gonna take that Sniveling Simon backstory. So here's what we need from any of you. If any of you, that's what we got. Sarah, which one was yours? Sarah Elizabeth Brown submitted a one-word research project. Clearly, Sarah, tell us which one yours was. Sarah also was the first person to submit trash to us this morning, which was excellent. Ooh. It is an old tuna can that somebody used as an ashtray. It was a tiny piece of trash that you can hold in your hand, which is a disgusting combination that I can't wait to just have somebody dig through and find. So that'll absolutely be making it in. So Fartholomew Repugnant. We're gonna take that story. If any of these were your submissions, here's what we need, and we'll put this out via the twits and whatnot also too, because again, dummy me did not put on an accreditation page at the end, and I don't think I captured anybody's info in a way that lets me reply to them because I didn't set any of that up either. We are doing this, so that's going to be our canon name for this folk that'll go in the book somewhere, probably towards the front. Thanks. So we're doing a lot of crowdsourcing. So we just finished this one. Today we popped out an update, but I also tweeted it out and posted it in a couple places. And that, that is our newest survey is going to just be trash. Let's talk trash tables. And so we're going to have 4 trash tables in the book. One for very huge trash that basically dwellers can climb into and around. You can essentially make a labyrinth out of these type of things or populate the world with these kind of big hulking pieces. The other type we have, so that's you pick the size of it, and then you tell us what it is, and you tell us who you are, so that we know how to attribute you. And we're gonna make a trash table for at least these first 4. If we get enough of others that don't fit into one of those categories, which could be a gas or a liquid or something else, it just doesn't really fit into a normal sizing thing. Then we will make another table potentially also too. But we're going to be looking for about 12 of each of those at least. If we get enough of them, we may pop it up to 20 per table. Also too, you'll use the heap to determine what those are. You'll throw for it just like anything else. There'll be a combination of chits that you use for it. But that's how that'll work. So submit. If you guys haven't done that yet, it's in the last update we did on the page. You can go to ttrpg.link/gross to check that out. Let's see if we got any new backers while we were on today. It's okay if we didn't. We've gotten new backers every day. We have not had a day without a new backer. We hope today is not that day. Eagleus, you did. Oh, Blarf was yours. You did miss the discussion about naming the repugnant person. We just announced who they were. I will happily say it again. We are 1 week in, so this is the slumpiest time of any campaign. We actually shot up super fast. Like we funded about as quickly as I thought we would, but we got through the first 2 stretch goals real quick and then have eked up to that third one. We're trying to get to that 5K mark. So if you haven't gone to back Repugnant yet, I know some people will be like, oh, I want to wait till Friday because it's payday. You can, absolutely. I'm not gonna over pressure anyone, but the campaign isn't clear till Monday. So whenever you back it, you're gonna get charged on Monday. And so like it does, whether you do it now or later, that's great. If you can't back it, that's fine too. Just if you could do us a favor, go out and share it with people. That link, ttrpg.link/grossrpg or ttrpg.link/repugnant is the easiest thing to share. If you share it and tag one of us in it or any of our companies, we will absolutely retweet, repost, all that kind of stuff. Really looking forward to getting the word out about this gross RPG. Also, if anybody out there watching is like super into Reddit, neither John or I are, and we should be posting about it on Reddit, and we're not. And so, like, if you could help, that'd be awesome. If you want to be our Reddit mule, we'll get you a sticker or something. We'll make it worth your while. We've got a couple more things coming up. So we did this today. We've got a couple more things we're doing over the course of this week. We've got another survey about monsters. We just showcased in the last update some of the different monsters we had. We also have our actual play. I think we're going to do on Thursday.
I thought we said Wednesday.
In the update, I may have said Thursday. It's Wednesday's fine. We can do it on Wednesday.
Well, whatever it says in the update is what we're doing, right?
Well, if we already contacted anybody to say, hey, we're going to play on this day and they're not available on Thursday, we're going to
I haven't locked anybody down yet. Okay. We'll figure that out.
Cool. Okay. We're going to play on Wednesday or Thursday, one of the two, but maybe both.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Figure it out.
And so, and then we did just name the repugnant person, but we're going to be taking in ideas for all that stuff. We left some blank spots in the creation process so that our backers and our friends could say, hey, here's an idea I have for this universe, and kick in and get their name in the book, because we love what I called crud sourcing earlier today, because, it's all about theme. So the name that we landed on is Fartholomew. I've got to go look. Fartholomew, R.E. Pugnant. And the backstory I will hesitantly read again. Hold on real quick. Let me get back over to it. Nope, summary results. Again, this tool is called Typeform. I love it. It's a super fun way to get feedback from people with visual engagement. Nope. Results summary. All right. Responses. So we ended up with it was Sniveling Steve, I think was the the name originally for that. Sniveling Simon. There we go.
Mhm.
Sniveling Simon came to be when someone's mom finally threw out that bag of stuff her son had been saving in the garage since the 80s. Inside this strange, sickly, and stretched black plastic exterior was a seemingly innocent collection of childhood memorabilia, a moldy My Pet Monster turned rat condo with corroded voice box brimming with congealed acid, a mint condition collection of Series 1 Garbage Pail Kids and Wacky Packages cards in plastic binder sleeves. What a waste. Several mold and worse-soaked issues of Mad Magazine hiding the remains of a broken porn VHS originally found in the woods, and thoroughly desiccated can of Ninja Turtle ooze, and over a pound of rat shit. When the bag found its way to the oozing bile piles of the crust, as all such bags must one day do, a malodorous miracle occurred. The prongs of the binder nipped a medical waste disposal unit, bursting it like an infected cyst and causing a turgid stream of chunky maggot-infested slime to seep and weep through the rat-torn holes in the bag. The awful ichor fused the contents together into a congealed cocoon of bodily wax and something that I'm not going to say on stream. In 3 days' time, the cocoon's crust cracked out. Our putrid protagonist was born, smiling, naked, and covered in glistening pizza grease. Give him a hug, we dare you. So that is the canon-ish backstory.
Needs some editing.
Yeah, we're gonna edit it. We got to take out the IPs. We got to bring the sexualized content down a touch because we were talking about this. It's a SFW setting. Why you would play it at work, I don't know. But you can.
Yeah, it's vaguely wholesome in the same way that like creepy crawlers, Jello slime toys,
Garbage Pail Kids, other things. Yeah, they are all And so that's the feel. You want to up that at your own table? Do it. Like absolutely.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's on board with it. Like do your basic stuff. It may seem weird. There will be safety tools in this. There's apparently an old game called Human Occupied Landfill that was really kind of a parody of an RPG concept, and then was very, very kind of inflammatory. We didn't go that route. Like this is a gross place where gross is normal, but it's not a bad place, and it's not a good place. It's just a gross place where all the things happen. And so whatever makes sense to you is good. So we did this one again. I tweeted out about the trash one earlier today. We're taking your suggestions for trash in the universe. Muckraker could be a cool name for something. It has not been used already. You use the term in your homebrew 5e adventure. It fits the zine theme too. Yeah, so we actually talked about a lot of them. We really liked Muckraker, and we liked the concept of the Muckraker also too. There are actually a lot of things here that we will probably pull in. If you were one of the people who submitted one of those things, let us know because we do want to make sure we credit you. We'll make sure we get that out in print also too through updates and through social media. Probably not till after the campaign closes because it won't matter till we're about to go to print. But we'll make sure we do that. So if you guys can share the survey, not for the name now, but for trash, that would be really helpful because at the end of each of the surveys, there's also a link directly to the campaign page. So you can just say, hey, there's this campaign right now. It's about trash. Tell them your trash. And then like what your ideas for this gross stuff that's in this world. And then at the end, they'll get taken to the page also too, if they want to. Check us out. They can. Sharing it online. Again, the link's right down below us. Icky Iggy was very good.
I agree.
So I don't know if you were here for it, Sarah, but we looked at sebaceous cysts and nasty. And I'm so glad you've discovered the game. I'm so glad you're excited about it. Sarah did Planar Compass 2 as part of Zine Quest with her design partner Dan. And so Blarf was a sound effect. But yeah, Icky Iggy Ignatius Sebaceous was super good, and probably will make an appearance in one of my campaigns at least because I do like that name.
I like that name a lot too. Can that be like some sort of swarmy tradesman, like top hat wearing, like a thinking like a very spindly sort of character.
Yeah, we could probably work some of these into like an NPC table for sure, and just kind of pick up some of these and give some people the rest. And so absolutely, because I really like that name, and there are a couple others, Scumbelina and a few more that just were like names, nothing else, but really, really solid. And I want to see them make it in the world. Well, we've been on for 30 minutes. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go work on a couple of things. I got to come back in Zine Quest at 3 o'clock, probably. And so if you get a zine you want us to talk about that's not ours, that's great. Let us know. If you guys can get out there and help spread the word about Repugnant, we certainly appreciate it. We're in, like I said, that middle campaign phase, trying to crank it up to 5K. I think we can get to 5K easily. We may be able to get to 7,500. Did I say that right? 75.
Mhm.
Yes. I would love to get to 10K. It'll take some pretty heaping support in order to do that. So anybody who's willing to get out there, help spread the word in any way that you can, we appreciate it. Pustule Pirate, are you proposing a crossover between Planar Compass's work and the Crust? Because I'm all about it. I did say the trash tables we're creating are 100% compatible with You Got a Job on the Garbage Barge, which is Amanda Lee Frank's Zine Quest project from last year. So I mean, if you're a Garbage Barge fan, like, you know, we're making tools for our game and that game at the same time.
Yeah, you get off the garbage barge, and the whole world's been transformed into garbage.
Right.
Now it's just garbage everything.
Right. Or if you go deep enough into the garbage barge, there's some sort of device that teleports you to the Crust, and vice versa. Like, you know, there's all kinds of crossovers. And you have to go through the ethereal plane to do that. So you're going to need to pick up a copy of Planar Compass to do that. We're just going to work it out. We actually, when I was interviewing Sarah and Dan, one of the things they were talking about was using Planar Compass as like the space between zines. Like you could pick it up and use the ethereal plane work that they do to basically move from one game to another. Like whenever you go into the ethereal plane, you like end up in their content, and then you come back out in whatever other game you're going to play, which I think is a very fun feel. Wouldn't
that be absolutely wild if there was like 6 separate work groups that were all doing an anthology RPG zine?
I want to see way more collabs next year on Zine Quest.
Right.
Like I want to see connected and extended universes, even if the systems are entirely different. Just saying, like, here is how our games connect, and here is the kind of center spoke in which like you go to do them. I think it's a very, very fun concept. I know we've talked about this. I want to do a Make 100 project that creates a game that you can play across Zine Quest. Like everybody puts a prompt. Anybody who buys in, like, puts a prompt at the bottom of their page that I'll work on, right? Like I'll work with them. I'll do the heavy lifting on it. And this goes at the bottom of their Kickstarter page. Whenever somebody gets there, they can roll dice or do something to interact with their page. And it's just narrative. Like it's not like, hey, roll 2d6 and on a 10 you buy the ultra premium version of our zine, and on a 1 you fail, so all you do is share it. That's not the goal. The goal is like actual narrative fun stuff connected to the themes of your project. But then the ask is like, hey, check out this page and share this page whenever you go there, right? Like, so it's just really intended to be kind of a mark, but that you could also like track your character's success as you went through it. And like have kind of a leaderboard for how people are doing as they travel through this massive Zine Quest experience. And so that's one of my dumb meta plans that somebody said was a disgusting marketing ploy earlier this year. And I'm like, but it would be super fun and a fun thing to do for the community. And let's face it, that whatever money I raise on that's just going to go back to Zine Quest. Like, it's not like that money is going to go anywhere except for back to those creators. So
I was just looking at my backs for this month, and it's piling up.
At the end of Zine Quest, everyone's a super backer. Yeah, I asked the other day how many non-$1 pledges people thought I had done. Hi! And the answers ranged anywhere from like 15 to, I think, 90 somebody had guessed. Somebody may have guessed in the hundreds, though, also, too. And I love that people think I have that kind of budget. But at that point in time, finalized pledges that I'd gone in that were not $1 was 25. And somebody guessed that on the nose. It was Keegan. I had guessed that.
For Zine Quest, I got 14 under my belt, with probably a third of them being $1.
Yeah. That was last week. So that number is certainly a little higher now. I'm into the early 30s. Dinah is 3 games away from Super Backer. Congratulations! Can't wait to welcome you to the Super Backer Club. No, somebody in the chat.
Okay.
Hopefully they send you your custom engraved Super Backer jacket on time. And if they don't, please contact games at Kickstarter until they send you one on
Yeah,
repeat.
demand it.
If they don't respond immediately, just follow up every 48 hours until they send you one. And so, all right, we're gonna hop off. It's been fun chatting with you guys, John. Good catching up with you. This has been our naming of our character for our game Repugnant, which is live on Kickstarter right now.
Bartholomew R.E. Pugnant.
Yep. And we've got an awesome backstory we're going to be building out. If you have not backed the game yet, that's okay. There's still plenty of time to do that, but go ahead and do it whenever you're ready. If you can't back the game right now because you don't have it in your budget, we just love if you could share it with people. If you're a Redditor ninja who's all up in the Reddit community, we need a Reddit ninja / mule to help get onto that space.
Yep.
So hit us up.